We often think of soldiers as tough, stern, and emotionless, but just like everyone else, they can't wait to be reunited with their loved ones. In this compilation of soldiers coming home, you're gonna see some of the most heartwarming moments that are sure to touch your heart. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell. 6 months apart is way too long for two hearts in love. Luckily, now nothing can keep them apart. This military woman spent 10 months preparing for the moment that she would finally get to hold her daughter again. When it arrived, the one thing she couldn't hold was her tears. This soldier came to a coffee shop not for coffee, but to reunite with his brother after such a long deployment abroad. Not even the counter could keep them from embracing each other. All year long, these girls only wished for one thing on every holiday: to see their mom again. And today, that wish has come true. This grandma usually keeps her emotions in check when seeing her grandkids, but this time she couldn't help but shout for joy. Get ready to see a young volleyball player named Erin struck speechless. You see, her dad, who's been away for 14 months, is hiding in the mascot costume. For this woman, her greatest memory from college will undoubtedly be seeing her husband at the graduation rehearsal after 8 months apart. Every man has a moment when he can't pretend to be strong anymore and just wants to cry on the shoulder of his son who has safely come home from the Navy. When this couple was asked to play a rapping contest blindfolded, they had no idea the incredible prize that awaited them. How long is 5 months? Well, that's 150 days the kids could have spent with their dad, but now they're gonna make up for lost time. Even more than her graduation ceremony, 8th grader Maya was looking forward to seeing her big brother, who is a pilot. Today, she gets a double dose of happiness. For dogs, one human month is like a year and a half of their life, so this one's joy at his owner's return is 10 times stronger. No one remembers which baseball team won that day because the reunion of two mothers with their Marine sons was the most emotional event for all in attendance. When these kids went on an exciting scavenger hunt organized by their mom, they thought they'd be finding candy or toys, but they definitely weren't expecting to find their dad, who they hadn't seen in 9 months. This family decided to play Santa for their mom and wife. Her reaction to the special gift they prepared for her speaks for itself. This Marine really wanted to surprise his grandma with his arrival. And judging by her reaction, he nailed it. The train station used to represent painful goodbyes for this couple. Now, it's a place filled with the happy memories of being reunited. This soldier decided to be a waiter for a day, but just for one person, his mom. What could be more touching than a soldier's long-awaited reunion with his beloved family? Absolutely nothing. The bond between a father and daughter is especially deep, and no military service can break it. This guy came to congratulate his little brother on completing Marine Corps recruit training. His simple "I'm proud of you" was the greatest reward for the young Marine. You're about to witness a soldier seeing his son for the first time. He may have missed the birth, but the best moments are yet to come. During a basketball game, this guy got a video message from his brother fighting in Afghanistan, but the surprises didn't stop there. Megan was expecting her final basketball game to be unforgettable, but this surprise exceeded all her expectations. This woman couldn't fully enjoy her wedding with her brother missing from it. Or was he? Making mom happy is actually very simple. Just come back safe from service and give her a genuine smile. Some kids are happy with gadgets, others with toys, but military kids treasure those rare reunions with their parents. This soldier's girlfriend would often bury herself in work as a distraction from missing him.
Oh my God.
But those days are over. For this girl, the airport will always be a special place where she meets her dad. They've waited 212 days for this moment. Now they can finally embrace each other. This soldier wanted to surprise her sister by secretly taking the elevator to her apartment. As you can see, her sister beat her to it. This girl can't believe she could ever be this happy. Her Marine boyfriend has not only returned from service, but also gave her the fairy tale proposal she's always dreamed of. This boy thought he was in a contest to win free pizza for a year, but the prize was much, much better. Months of separation are nothing compared to the eternity together that awaits this couple. For this airwoman, hugging her son was the last straw that made her burst into tears. She missed him so much. This soldier has already vowed to protect his country. Now he just needs to vow eternal love to his girlfriend. How could she refuse? Before heading off to duty, this soldier promised his sister he'd make it to her softball senior night, and he kept that promise. Sometimes a hug says more than 1,000 words. What can make a daughter's day after a tough practice? Only her dad, who's finally home. No romantic movie can compare to these real, heartfelt moments. This soldier dressed up as a bear to give his daughter an unforgettable birthday surprise. Her joy at seeing her dad is beyond words. Upon returning from his 14-month tour in the Navy, this sailor went straight to his sister's hockey game. For her, his presence is the best motivation to score lots of goals. 3 months away from the love of your life can feel like an eternity, but a single moment in a warm embrace makes all that time fade away. After tough military service, this sergeant was only really nervous about meeting his little daughter.
Daddy!
Everything's fine now. Daddy's home. Graduation night brought this girl something more valuable than a diploma. After years apart, she's reunited with her sister. Missing his grandma's care, this soldier planned a touching surprise and showed up unexpectedly at her cafe. Every soldier's duty is to serve their country, and every mother's duty is to create joy for her child. This woman nailed both tasks. They've waited 7 long months for this reunion, and it's finally here. This girl never thought a simple walk with a friend would end up with her in the arms of the one she loves, whose return she's been praying for every night. This female soldier organized a whole spy operation to surprise her little sister. And it was totally worth it. Football often has unexpected twists, but this one tops them all. In her letter, little Tenley asked Santa to bring her dad back, and as you can see, he did an excellent job. To some, it's just 100 stickers, but to them, it's 100 days without a husband and father. Thankfully, now those days are over. This boy doesn't need notebooks or a backpack just for his sister to never leave him for so long again. This girl promised her brother she'd be strong and not cry while he was away. Now she can let it all out. When this soldier showed up out of nowhere, he surprised not only his sister, but also all her classmates. They're all grateful for his service. What's a celebration without surprise, thought this soldier as he burst into the restaurant right in the middle of his sister's wedding. Serving in the Marine Corps taught this young man the most important lesson of all, to cherish your mother and visit her often. The unexpected return of her sister left this girl in shock. The service must have felt like it lasted way too long. This soldier is incredibly lucky to have found someone who's just happy that he's safe. Watching families reunite is always heartwarming, but a whole bunch of joyful reunions at once? It's overwhelming. The support of this soldier's girlfriend gave him the strength to endure the hardships of military life. He'll be grateful to her forever. Do you have a favorite date? For young Mackenzie, it's May 27th, 2022. That's the day she had her graduation, her birthday, and a reunion with her sister in the military. It's hard not to tear up watching this father and daughter who thought they'd never see each other again. Check out the reaction of this boy who never expected to meet his favorite superhero, his big brother, in the middle of an ordinary day. Before joining the military, this guy was a football coach. Need I say how much his team missed him? This soldier decided not to give his sister a heads up about his arrival to see her reaction, and it is absolutely priceless. This couple never spent a minute apart before, so 6 months away was a real test for them. This girl tried to express everything she felt during her soldier's absence with a single hug. As a true Navy man, this guy couldn't miss his sister's wedding, so he secretly arrived a day early to give the newlyweds the best gift. Nothing to see here, just two soldiers realizing that they're the happiest people on Earth. After fulfilling her military duty, this woman is returning to the role that's always been her priority, being a caring mother to her 4 kids. This woman has never opened the door with such excitement before, knowing that her hero and a hero to the whole country was standing behind it. This airman loves his job, but he loves his mom even more. So as soon as he got a chance, he came to visit her. Imagine a child's surprise when, instead of a package from Dad himself shows up. This soldier just had to come home safe and sound. Otherwise, who would his girlfriend and dog welcome so joyfully? This soldier only had half an hour of free time, but that didn't stop him from making a heartfelt proposal to his girlfriend. These girls didn't know why their mom was calling them so desperately until they saw their lovely big sis. This soldier canceled all her missions in Africa to visit her parents and feel like their little girl again. You don't need to be a psychic to guess how hard this time apart was for both of them. A teacher named Regina has been counting down the days to her son Eric's return from overseas, and finally she got to 0.
Hey.
This boy dreamed of seeing the pride in his father's eyes for winning a medal, and he did. This Army paratrooper came home from a long tour of duty to give his 5-year-old son a special last day of school before the holidays. Hachiko isn't the only dog who patiently waited for his owner to come back. Thank goodness this story has a happier ending. This girl kept wondering why her teacher was filming her until she saw a familiar shadow. This guy was so focused on the march that he didn't even recognize his mom at first. She must be proud to have raised a true professional. Gray Johnson's service in Korea lasted a full 2 years, so he deserved the loudest applause and the tightest hugs from his mom. Both brothers chose to serve their country, both worry about each other, and both look forward to reuniting every time. No one could have predicted such an excited reaction from Grandma when her grandson came home. If you see a happy military woman on the street, there's a 99% chance she's rushing to see her mom. This airwoman knows how to make a grand entrance. She asked the organizers of a baseball game to bring her family onto the field, and then she suddenly appeared in front of them. To a boy, his father is a friend and a mentor, and the thought of losing him is incredibly painful. As soon as he stepped into the cafe in his uniform, this brother knew his sister would be blown away. Schoolwork takes a back seat when your father walks into the classroom safe and sound after a long time away. They say girls should dance with special partners at prom, and this girl's Navy brother, who spent 363 days at sea, is the perfect choice. While serving his country, this soldier didn't forget the most important thing, his love. Then he proposed to his girlfriend in the most romantic way. While other kids were fans of Beyoncé, little Tina Crabtree idolized her sister, so she couldn't miss her voice among dozens of others. I don't know why some people still say dogs can't feel emotions. This joy is definitely real. I bet this mom's reaction to her son's return will leave you speechless. You can feel the love and pride in every scream and jump. Usually, it's hard to make a police officer cry, but a reunion with his daughter would make even the toughest chief break down. This student must have been the top of her class given the surprise she got at graduation, her brother showing up. Mom was so inspired by her son's military achievements that she decided to accomplish something herself and became a nurse. How could he not congratulate her in person? Look at this heartwarming brother and sister reunion. The boy seems like he's grown and matured during her year of service in Korea. Frozen in shock and disbelief. That's how this family reacts to the surprise appearance of their soldier brother and son on Christmas. Okinawa, USA, Afghanistan, this soldier's route over 2 years was tough, but he managed to come home a month early to surprise his wife. Wow, at her graduation, this girl got 2 surprises: a visit from her military boyfriend and a romantic proposal. This Marine convinced the family to keep his homecoming a secret from his sister. She was so happy to see him that she didn't mind the secret at all. This soldier put in a lot of effort to get home before Christmas. The warm hugs from his family were the perfect reward for his hard work. This boy had no idea what Santa could have brought in such a big box. Hint, it's something or someone very much like his beloved uncle. This girl went on stage thinking she had won some gift cards or something, but her military lover had something else in store for her. Is this Christmas magic? A young airman suddenly showed up during his sister's work shift, and of course, she threw her arms around him and cried. A big crowd gathered to watch quarterback Blaine Romano at his homecoming game. Among them was his biggest fan, his older brother. For this woman, airports will now be associated not only with vacations, but also with the most important surprise of her life. It hasn't even been 30 minutes since Sergeant Christopher Williams returned from a 7-month deployment in Afghanistan, and you don't need to be a fortune teller to know who he's rushing to see first. This military woman was granted just 1 day of leave from her service, but for her family, that's 86,000 precious seconds they get to spend together. Today was the last time that this woman's mother had to dream of seeing her daughter again, because now she's home in real life. It's hard to imagine what it must be like to wait for your child to come back from the army, but even harder to imagine what it's like for the child to spend a whole year away from their mom. For a grandmother, there's no greater joy in life than a hug from her grandson, especially when she hasn't been able to get one in so long. This family was prepared to spend yet another Christmas without their mother, but apparently this time Santa finally received a letter from this little girl. This woman's friends had been telling her that the fair would be truly unforgettable this year, but she had no idea how literal they were being. This is the sound of a mother and daughter being reunited after 2 long years apart. This young man hasn't seen his grandma in over a year, so he knew a surprise visit would be a shock, but he decided to make the event even more memorable. These are the only times when kids are allowed to make their parents cry. Some moments simply can't be captured in words, so just watch this military father meeting his newborn son for the first time. Imagine the shock it must take to cause a mother to lose control of her emotions and more upon suddenly being reunited with her military daughter. This girl is always pretty happy when she goes to the playground, but she wasn't expecting to be this happy. Positive emotions can be just as shocking as negative ones, and here's proof. Look at this girl's emotional reaction to her boyfriend's unexpected return after 7 months of service. This young soldier has just returned from her deployment and went straight off the plane to surprise her best friend at work. Military service has kept this girl from her beloved sister for many months, but today is the long-awaited day that they'll get to see each other again. I don't think she's ever letting her out of her sight again. You've seen soldiers greeting their wives and girlfriends, but I bet you've never seen a mother-in-law's reaction to her son-in-law coming home from service. If you think coming home to your parents after a 28-month deployment in Japan couldn't get any more surprising, just wait till you see their reaction to a knock on the door at 2 a.m. If none of the previous reunion videos have quite moved you yet, then take a look at this Navy dad surprising his 4 kids after many months apart. This soldier told his family that he would be arriving the next day so that he could surprise them a day early. Today is the second time this girl has had to celebrate her birthday without her mother, but now it's time for her wish to finally come true. How long do you need to be away from your military sister to sprint to hug the second you see each other? The time doesn't really matter when it comes to being reunited. This groom promised himself that he wouldn't get too sentimental on his wedding day, but little did he know that crying would be unavoidable. Despite missing her son's graduation, this military mom did everything in her power to make sure that their long-awaited embrace still happened. The final moments of waiting always feel the longest, but they're totally worth it. Don't worry, Dad got his share of hugs too, just off camera. A single glance from her mother was all it took for the daughter to realize that from now on, they would always be together. This whole family can't hold back their emotions when their military girl surprises them by showing up at a family dinner one evening. Like a scene out of a movie, this touching reunion between a girl and her father after a year of service is enough to melt any heart. Can you imagine how a boy must feel seeing his mother for the first time in 365 days? Just like this. This girl sees something that could not possibly be real. Her sister home after a year of military service. It's impossible to know exactly how a mother who hasn't seen her son in 34 months must feel. But her powerful reaction gives you an idea. With his football game now behind him, young Joshua thought that all the big emotions of the day were over, but that's before he found out his brother had come home from the military to congratulate him. For For a soldier returning from duty, surprising his wife like this might just be the best welcome home gift he can give her. Steffi couldn't figure out why her mom was filming her until she opened the door to find her older sister who had kept her promise to come home for Christmas. This woman was told there was a special surprise waiting for her inside, but she wasn't expecting it to be her husband. She won't be letting him out of her embrace anytime soon. Not only kids and parents were waiting for this soldier to come back, but the one who sees him as its whole world. After 15 long months overseas without seeing his daughters, this Air Force dad is finally coming home today. After 5 years in Vietnam, this guy's best friend came back and was met with the most touching reaction and some brotherly love. This is what true love looks like. This woman couldn't wait another day for her husband's service to end, so she surprised him herself. And by the look in his eyes, she absolutely nailed it. This man's mom had given up hope of seeing her son for Christmas, but it looks like it's time for her to start believing in miracles. This soldier had to miss his daughter's birth due to his deployment. Thankfully, they now have the rest of their lives to spend together. This darling little girl has grown so much since her dad was last home, but now he's back and ready to be part of her life like never before. After serving abroad, all this man wants to do is be with his love and show her just how much he's missed her. She's done her duty to her country, and now there's just one mission left: make it to her little brother's graduation. This family sent a message saying how much they missed their soldier, never expecting they'd get to hug him so soon. This woman has waited every single day, not knowing if her partner would ever return, for this exact moment. These grads knew today was an important day, but they had no idea it would be unforgettable for reasons beyond just receiving their diplomas. 3 years ago, these children's father followed his dream to join the military and set an example for them. I'm so glad it worked out. For a year, Harley has been counting down the days until she would get to hug her little sister again, so she wasn't about to wait for the school day to end. This soldier only had a couple of days of leave, so he didn't think twice about surprising his mother at the airport where she worked. This Navy mom coming home to her child after 8 months away is a perfect example of how precious these reunions can be. This woman was ready for a nice evening, but it turned out to be more amazing than she could have ever dreamed. These people didn't understand why everyone was obsessed with the trunk of the car until they saw what was inside and were beside themselves with joy. Here's another lucky girl who's getting the best graduation gift ever. This couple was 2,000 miles apart for 6 months, but now they're making sure they're not separated by even a single millimeter. Waiting 9 months for a daughter to come back from the army feels like forever for any mom, but it's all worth it for moments like these. Imagine expecting a normal morning coffee with your neighbor and instead finding your son who you haven't seen in 2.5 years. Best Christmas surprise ever. For 365 days, these girls planned what they would say to their father when they saw him again. But once he was right in front of them, all words went out the window, leaving nothing but pure emotion. It's safe to say that the mom of this military man wasn't expecting the gift of seeing her son by the Christmas tree. The moment she saw the car, she knew the long nights away from her father were finally over. This graduate couldn't believe her eyes. Her dad had arrived on one day of leave to make her celebration unforgettable. This girlfriend hadn't seen her boyfriend in so long that she could hardly believe it was him at first. No words needed here. The way this toddler lights up upon seeing her daddy says it all. For a 4-year-old, 7 months is a terribly long time to be away from dad, who did everything he could to get back to his little girl ASAP. Here's what you get when you surprise your family for Christmas after spending 4 years in South Korea. This military husband's return was a shocker not just for his wife, but also for their eager dog, who waits his turn for a hug. As soon as this young man stepped off the bus, he knew he had been missed without anyone saying a word. You've seen plenty of sons coming home to their mothers, but this one has a little twist you don't see very often. Serving in the Army kept this dad from his 3 kids, who had been dreaming of his return every day, and today's the day. And these little babies finally have their daddy back after 6 long months. What a touching moment. This soldier's brother missed him so badly, and he has no idea what awaits him in a second. Some soldiers don't even get the chance to plan surprises because their loved ones beat them to it. When this soldier left for the Army, his sister made him promise to be there for her graduation. Real officers don't break promises. While one girl is focused on her schoolwork, her military mom sneaks up to surprise her from behind. And judging by her daughter's reaction, it worked. It's definitely the support from family and friends that makes moments like these so precious for those in the military. This boy had been dreaming of showing his dad what he learned in a year while he was away on duty. Now watch as he realizes his dad won't ever miss another game. The best friends of this military girl were sure they wouldn't see her anytime soon. Just look at their reaction when they realized how wrong they were. This girl has no idea that after months of service, her Marine sister will be picking her up from school today. The emotions here are enough to melt any heart. I never thought I'd say this, but I hope this girl doesn't have a date for the prom, because now she gets to dance with her loving brother. Before receiving her wedding gift, this woman was told to close her eyes. Looks like it's exactly what she's always wanted. Her brother is home again. On his wedding day, this groom was expecting to see many different people, but not his brother, who was currently serving in the military. He should have known his bro would never miss this moment. After a long time apart, the feelings that come with a sweet reunion can often be overwhelming to the point that no one can speak. But that's okay. The message of love is still received. This military son knows how to make a dramatic return from service. Imagine the most important person in your life just walking into the kitchen after not seeing them for 14 months. It took only a second for an Air Force soldier named Brianna to turn back into a little girl at the sight of her father. Many people say long-distance relationships are hard, but if your feelings are strong enough, you can wait for your military boyfriend's embrace at long last. After everything we've seen today, being apart for 3 months doesn't seem all that bad, but not for these lovers who can't imagine a day without each other. This female soldier decides to surprise her friend, whom she hasn't seen in years, in spectacular fashion by catching her off guard at work. Waiting 210 days for your father to come home from the army feels like an eternity for kids. Well, that eternity has finally come to an end. This might just become your new favorite homecoming video of all time. Watch as this soldier meets his daughter for the first time. This girl is about to receive the greatest gift after many months away from her military dad. I'm not talking about the video. This man trained for years in the Special Forces so he could pull off the most important mission, surprising his mom in the middle of a school lesson. This woman's job is to heal people, but today her son came to heal her heart by returning to her alive and well. When the Faley family saw a message from their father, First Sergeant Scott Faley, on the stadium's video board, they were speechless. But they didn't know that an even bigger surprise was yet to come. This Marine's grandma has no idea about the surprise her grandson is prepared for her. And sure, she's shocked, but oh so happy. We don't know how long this soldier was away from his sister, but her love for him only grew stronger, and this video is proof. Wipe your tears, because that's all for today. Leave a comment and tell us which clip warmed your heart the most. And don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time.